Hello, everyone. This is Judith. We're talking about your twin flame journey. Yeah, and today it's all about clarity, how you gain clarity along the way. And I want to tell you a little story, something that I have witnessed on another YouTube channel that has nothing to do whatsoever with twin flames, but it's about a guy who is talking about all kinds of plants and the benefits, and he really is on a road trip from Europe to Asia, so I don't know, thousands of kilometers, and in the middle of nowhere, really, uh, he met his twin flame. He didn't give it that label, but I was seeing that clearly. When I saw the picture, I was like, come on, that's not that's not possible. That's his twin flame. He met this woman in the middle of nowhere, really, literally. And what's so fascinating about him is that he is like just following his purpose. He is doing what he wants, which is not always easy, right? To be on the bike and always sleeping in a tent and just taking every day as it comes. That's not always easy, but literally, I think 2 videos before he met his twin flame, uh, he was labeling himself as like chronically happy, or I think it was even incurably happy. And it brought so much clarity to me, right? Because it's really all about getting to this place of clarity, and that's quite a journey, right? To this place of happiness, and happiness in the sense that even if we are not happy all the time, we are like still on this quest for happiness, right? On this quest for joy, on this quest for clarity, and of course for love, right? And we would there would be on this journey, just the journey that this guy is taking with his bike, right? Through so many different countries, and all the things that he is seeing along the way, all the people that he's meeting along the way. And that's just as our journey really works, wherever we are. We sometimes forget that because we're in the same environment and we are not like traveling, we forget that still every day is a new and fresh day. And with new challenges, and every day we have to set our intention. So it also made clear to me, or clearer, even clearer, that we always have to accomplish this alignment in every moment. It's not something that we do and then it's for all eternity, it's done, but it's something that we can fall out of union, right? We can fall out of union with ourselves. We can be trapped in all kinds of emotions. All kinds of buttons could be pressed, all our buttons, right? Triggers. And that's why we want to heal as much as possible, so that our buttons cannot be triggered anymore. And we always want to come back then to this chronic happiness, right? Yeah, and especially when you're awakening. In the beginning, I was already talking about this, that a lot of emotions are coming up, and you will feel things that you've not been feeling before, or emotions will be very intense, and also mixed, and it feels like very unsafe, very unstable, and uh, but it'll lead towards that clarity, right? It's just a necessary stage that we have to go through, and all our issues, they have to bubble up. So that's something that when we are like becoming more of the light, then our light shines on all of those things. Or we get to see and we get to witness all of those things. we get to witness our light and we get to witness our shadows, both, right? And so it's also good always to acknowledge wherever we witness our light, because that's also happening all around us. Sometimes we are unaware of that, of this. And yeah, and the clarity is feeling like fulfillment. It's like clarity is really something that we want, and whenever you feel clarity, then you then appreciate it, right? Appreciate that clarity, that spirit, the communication. I feel that we first build the relationship with the divine, really. But first of all, we are like fixated on our twin flame and we want this relationship. Then we see that we're getting nowhere by pushing in that direction, but always like wanting to have this, right? That's not the way it works. And what's happening next, in my perspective, is that we start building a relationship with our higher self, with the divine, with our guide team. And that's something beautiful, because it brings so much clarity then, and lights us up, so that we really have this inner knowing, that when we relax, when we connect to ourselves, when we focus on joy, because we know that the truth is we are meant to experience joy here. That's our purpose, really. So once we know that, then we really understand that we don't need to be stay focused on all those problems and all the things that are not working out, but instead just look the other way and see everything that is working out and everything that is going great. And just training ourselves to do that more. And then also with the communication with upstairs, as I sometimes call it, the communication with upstairs brings so much clarity, right? It's then the moment you start to communicate with your guides and with your higher self, you receive so much guidance, and then you get clearer on what your true goals are, you get clearer on what your purpose is, you get clearer about what this is all about, regarding your twin flame relationship, and where you want to go with that. And and everything, it's really everything. It's also like very simple day-to-day things, like asking spirit, what should I need to do first today? What's on my list? Or should I keep this item, or should I like give it away, or whatever? You can ask spirit really anything, or your higher self, and you will receive guidance, and that's invaluable, right? And once you have that, more or less, it's, of course, everything is going parallel, right? There is not really one after the other, but it might be more in the focus, or this has been in the focus for me. And then what came next for me is the relationship with myself. So once I had that, and I was like mostly in that inner peace, and I knew that I had that guidance, and it gave me sort of a backup, really, and feeling of safety and stability. And then I turned like more towards loving myself and being able to give things to me that I was maybe lacking, right? To set intentions for the day, to set intentions in relation to my goals. And with intentions, I don't mean that the usual way that you write things on the list and then you have to do that. You have to force yourself to do all of that. That's not the way it goes, right? Because really, you I still put things on a list. Yeah, that's my way of doing it. I don't know, I think that's very personal, but I would never ever like force myself to do the things, but I would always check in with myself and also with spirit. What am I drawn to? And sometimes it's just decisions that you make when you go grocery shopping, or I sometimes ask spirit, what's for what's for dinner today, and then you'll be surprised. Oh yeah, I have this, that, and the other in the fridge. Let's make something from this. Suddenly, habits that you had will change, and you can set the intention and then watch what happens, right? And then a good way of setting the intention overall is, in my perspective, it works really, really great. I've told you before. For example, I just set the intention. I say, I'm in love with food. And then I watch what happens throughout the day, right? Or I'm in love with my body, and then see what happens, right? Of course, it's beneficial to do this more than one day. It could be like, let's say for the next 3 weeks, you play around a little bit with being in love with food, and then you get to witness the results, right? Could be anything. I'm in love with, so I want to give you this to experiment. And it always should be playful. Playfulness is a big key to the journey. And it really, I'm an actress, right? I should know what it is all about to play. But really, I was always very earnest. I was always like, my sister once said that she never saw me laughing when I was a child. I was like kind of depressed when I was around family, and then when I left my family and I went out into the world, I was almost like overjoyed. I was, and sometimes I still am, right? But that's overjoy can also be problematic. But really, to be joyful and appreciative and something that's so nice, and with it comes playfulness, true playfulness, just the curiosity to play with cause and effect, and to set those intentions and then just watch how it unfolds, right? You want to be surprised. You do not want to always know. Sometimes, of course, there is a kind of inner knowing, and that's useful, and that's also given from the divine. But sometimes the fun along the journey is really not to know exactly how it will unfold, and that's all about playfulness. So be playful. That's all for today. If you want to clear the energies for you and your twin flame, which is very beneficial, I recommend that. You can get my free webinar. Click on the link in the description box. And if you're interested in knowing about my offers, send me an email and you will receive them. So have a beautiful day, and I see you in the next video. Bye for now. Bye.